Should the Detroit Lions trade for Myles Garrett? That is what we're going to be discussing today. But before we do so, make sure you guys smash that like button, press subscribe, and before we even get to anything, you comment down below. Let me know, should the Detroit Lions trade for Myles Garrett? Personally, I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why this conversation is some of you guys aren't informed or not informed, it sounds rude, but if you don't know what's going on, Myles Garrett released a letter today on his personal Twitter. I'll read it verbatim. He says, as a kid, dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made it one of the toughest decisions in my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It was always been to compete and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns, signed Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett wants out of Cleveland because they are not within a championship window. They're not even in the house. They're not even in the neighborhood of competing for a Super Bowl right now. They got a lot to figure out over there. That's not what we're discussing right now. We're discussing, should the Detroit Lions be trading for Myles Garrett? My answer is yes. Yeah, they should. For multiple reasons. First and foremost, right? He wants to compete for a Super Bowl. If you are the Cleveland Browns, you're not making that trade within the AFC. Absolutely not. You don't have to deal with that. By chance, the trade works in your favor a little bit, like a Detroit Lion, Matthew Stafford situation where, okay, we're contending a little bit sooner than we expected here. And then you have to face Myles Garrett along that road with whatever stacked team you decide to put him on. No, he's not going to the AFC. So, automatically increases the odds and probability that he's going to be traded to the NFC. Detroit Lions are a contending team in the NFC. Goes beyond that, too. Let's connect a little bit more dots here now. Detroit Lions also have the cap space to make this trade. Myles Garrett to the Detroit Lions realistically could happen. It's not so much the pipe dream. You may tell yourself that because you don't want to be let down, right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that because it is an insane trade. You can't promise that that's going to happen, and obviously a lot of people are going to be in the bidding for it. But the Detroit Lions make sense, man. I'm just saying the Detroit Lions make sense in that scenario, and let me tell you why. First and foremost, we already got rid of this situation. He's not going back to the AFC. He's going to be traded to the NFC. Secondly, the Detroit Lions have $45 million in effective cap space, according to Over the Cap. Myles Garrett's cap hits, and this is according to Spa Track on Twitter, so I guess not Over the Cap. We're switching lanes here a little bit. But for the 2025 season, Myles Garrett's cap hit would only be $19.8 non-guaranteed $million. If I said only in there, I apologize for all of you guys that aren't making $20+ million. My bad. I should have said that. But in terms of like NFL money for a player of that caliber, might be something you want to. I mean, that's not crazy. That's really not. Matter of fact, if you pick up Aiden Hutchinson's fifth-year option, he would be making more in that fifth season than Myles Garrett would be after the trade. And the reason why this happens, guys, a lot of the guaranteed money when you make these trades, the team trading them are then responsible for it. It's called dead cap. The dead cap for Myles Garrett on the Cleveland Browns side would be $36,216,580. Myles Garrett's 29 years old, 2026. That cap hit would go to $25 million. And then I know a lot of stuff that people are going to bring up is, you got to re-sign Aiden Hutchinson. You got to re-sign Jameson Williams, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. Then after that, you're paying Goff right now. A lot of that money does not hit your books until that 2026 season, in which Myles Garrett has $25 million of non-guaranteed money. He then becomes once more an asset for your organization to move on from, or you restructure some deals and figure it out. You can re-sign Aiden Hutchinson. He can get his money, but that doesn't necessarily have to affect the cap right away. You could re-sign Kirby Joseph. He can get his money. That doesn't necessarily affect the cap right away. The perfect example is looking at Jared Goff's contract. Jared Goff's contract, these first 2 years of it, the first 2 years of it, this 2024-25 season, and then this following 26 season, he's under the 12% of your team's salary cap space, the projected salary cap space for next season as well. I believe I'll pull it up. But regardless, under that 12%, he's not killing you like that. A lot of times with these NFL contracts, the big money, or at least the big cap hits, are pushed towards the back. And that's why you see some of these guys come regular season or off season, I should say, be cut towards the end of training camp. Guys that have no business being cut. But because the bill comes due, you got to figure something out. If you're not going to restructure that contract in terms of extending him, throwing void years on it, if he's not agreeing to throw void years on it, if you're both not agreeing to restructure it and extend them, then yeah, if you don't want to pay those big fat cap hits, then you got to cut them. You got to let them loose, right? We can sign these guys and those big cap hits for Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Jameson Williams, whoever you name it, isn't going to come for another 3 years. This Jared Goff situation, I don't come next year. I'll pull it up actually because I kind of want to be exact on this one. I don't know what's going to go on with it. Jared Goff does have a no trade clause. You're not trading him, and I don't think anybody's talking about trading him. I just want to get that out there before that becomes a comment that I don't like to read. It's one of those ones you're like, come on, guys, what are we doing? All right, so Jared Goff's cap hit for 2026. So I'm sorry, 2025, I should say, $32 million. That's 11% of the team salary cap. But 2026 is when it balloons up. It's 24% of the team salary cap, and it's $600,000. That's when you talk to Jared and say, hey, we got to put some void years on this, man. We got to figure something out because we got Hutch coming up. We got Jameson Williams coming up. Kirby Joseph coming up. Like, we got to figure something out here if you truly want to contend for a Super Bowl. Jared Goff's a really good quarterback, but he's one of the quarterbacks you almost need a lot of things around him to go right to win. Let's be real about it. All right. So if he wants to continue having success, let's restructure this a little bit. But Myles Garrett to the Detroit Lions, yes. And what would it cost? It's crazy. Them 7 minutes in the video, we haven't talked about the cost. We talked about the money. I've read somewhere online that they would ask for 3 first-round picks. That's steep. They might get it. I've seen alleged dealings or alleged offers from previous seasons, last season particularly, with just 2 first-round picks. I am cool with that. I am more than fine with that. To grab Terrion Arnold, who was a bit of a question mark, you gave up a first-round pick and a third-round pick. You gave up a first-round pick and a third-round pick to move up in the draft and made that selection. You know what the selection was going to be. It was going to be Terrion Arnold. So for Terrion Arnold, who has yet to prove much in the NFL at this point, you could say whatever you think of him and make sure to comment down below. You gave up a first round and a third round already. Oh, but it's a draft. You're making the pick. No. That's still the compensation of the trade. You gave up a first round and a third round. You did the same for J-Mo. I am completely fine with letting go of pick 28 in the back half of this draft. And quite possibly pick 32 of the following draft to acquire Myles Garrett. Just lock in a Hall of Fame level defensive end alongside Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and another kid who projects to be in the Hall of Fame, and Aiden Hutchinson. What are we doing, guys? That'd be disturbingly good. I think for Aiden Hutchinson, the most. Hutch with Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and Myles Garrett on that same line? Are you kidding me? I can't imagine Aaron Glenn's face when this happens. I mean, you mean to tell me I was there 4 years and then I leave and these MFs trade for Myles Garrett? What the? But 2 second rounders, 2 first rounders, I feel like should be enough because don't forget, Myles Garrett had a little weird situation with his foot that a dealing he had as a child. This hasn't really quite bothered him again until this most recent year. And now it's kind of weird that happened. And now he's like, oh, wow, let me let me get the Super Bowl. Because maybe he knows something's up. I could be speculating there. I'm not one. I am one to speculate. What am I saying? But, 14 sacks for Myles Garrett in 2024, 14 sacks for Myles Garrett in 23, 16 in 2022, 16 in 2021, 12 sacks in 2020, 10 sacks in 2019. He may have been hurt there. Let's find out. 2018, he had 13, and 2017, he had 7 sacks. 2017 was his rookie year. Yes, trade for Myles Garrett. I was going to be one of those guys to say no. I really was that close to saying, maybe I was going to be one of those guys, Brad won't do it. You got to call. You got to make a call. This is going to seal the deal on the NFC conference. If you're one of those people who don't believe turnovers for whatever reason, I'm gonna bite my tongue. If you don't believe turnovers were the result of last year's game, and you say defense was a problem, here's your answer. And I know it's following a season where you had an ungodly amount of injuries affect that defense. That was also like the only time it's ever gone down like that. And even when they compare us to the Packers that lost a lot of people, they didn't lose as many starters or the caliber of players that we lost on that defense last season. That will not happen again. I would almost bet my house on it. You don't lose 15 plus starters on the defensive side of the ball. That's just insane. Yeah, trade for Myles Garrett. If you're giving up first round picks and move up in the draft to draft questionable guys at pick 24, and I like Terry. I'm not bashing Terry. I'm just saying, like, any rookie's a question, right? Then what is the issue of taking 2 first rounders, which would be in the back half of your draft, and getting a certified Hall of Famer? That's my stance on it. If you're not going to make the trade, for damn sure pick up the phone. Contract stuff will work itself out. It really will. I'm not, and I already kind of gave you the details of that one too. Like the big cap hits for all these guys aren't going to come until the back half of those contracts. Jared Goff, 4-year deal, 3-year deal. That 3rd year is when the money kicks in, right? We just went over the numbers. 2024, cap hit was 27. 2025, coming this season, cap hit's only 32. 2026, year 3 of the deal, that thing jumps to $69 million. So you can re-sign Hutch, you can re-sign Kirby, re-sign whoever you like. We do have to sign Carlton Davis as well. Gotta keep that in mind. But the big cap hits aren't going to come to the back half of those contracts. That bill come due. Play with those void years. I don't know why we don't. The Philadelphia Eagles got a lot of money. CJ, they got Saquon Barkley, a tremendous offensive line. A.J. Brown. I believe Devontae Smith just re-signed his contract too. Jalen Hurts. Go look at those deals. Jalen Hurts in particular. Lots of void years. Jalen Hurts will never have a cap hit like Jared Goff's at $69 million. I don't know if that's like a cash-rich owner thing. I don't know what the situation is, but Detroit Lions got to get into the mud of those void years and figure something out, and let's go get a Super Bowl. That's just where I'm at with it as a fan. You guys make sure to let me know where you're at with it as fans. Comment down below, should Detroit Lions trade for Myles Garrett? Also, as fans, Lions fans, what are you doing if you're not rocking some of the hottest Detroit Lions merch in the game right now? Head over to Lions Nation Unite and get yourself a Sonic and Knuckles tee. My personal favorite, and I wish I loaded it up before I even got to this point, but it's the Dan Campbell Go For It shirt, because it is Rambo style-esque. And that's exactly how I look at Dan Campbell in game situations, in life situations. The man went 13-1-3. Would have been very easy to kind of give up on your coaching career at that point with the Detroit Lions, but he did not. He carried his team to an NFC North title back-to-back years, NFC Conference Championship game, and more. And soon to come, if you grab Myles Garrett, maybe a Super Bowl, just saying. Comment down below, though, on the trade. Make sure you guys get your Garrett Lions Nation Unite. And I'm easy. That's it for now. I'm out.